Hello guys, and welcome to my second video today. And in this video we're going to be taking a look at Invest 93W, which is bearing closer to the Vietnam coast. And I'm going to show you guys that, whether this gets a named storm or doesn't get a named storm, that this is going to be a serious flooding problem for parts of Vietnam. So here we go. We are looking at the particulars here. And as you can see, it's located at 11.4 north, 113.2 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 20 knots or 25 miles per hour, and minimal central pressure is 1,006 millibars. Now, remember that millibar number closely, because we're going to see a model here real quick that has this spot on in the millibar department here. All right, so as you can see here, you can see that the convection is starting to become more vigorous and more, prominent as we head out through, the time frame here. This might help consolidate a low level center here that's been trying to develop over the course of the last 12 or so hours here. It has about 24 to 36 hours to try to do so, which we will take a look at here in the models. So as you can see here, it's still disorganized, but it's trying to get together here. It's a low level center as we head out through the rest of the next couple, like a day or so before Vietnam landfall. As you can see here, you can clearly see these 93 Invest track guidance. GFS has it down to 999 millibars, which is the only model there on the track guidance. And as you can see, GFS really isn't too bullish on this. There's one that gets below 1,000, but it's mostly 1,000 to 1,005 millibars, and we don't even have to talk about GEPS because that one's always the less convinced one, so to speak. And now here we are. We're going to take a look at another infrared satellite here, and as you can see that this convection is kind of blowing up a little bit, as you can see by the numerous areas of showers and thunderstorms here. But like I said, it's going to try to consolidate a low level center here probably in the next 12 or so hours, as I will show here shortly. All right, so here we are. We're going to take a look at the NOAA coral reef sea surface temperature, the actual sea surface temperatures here. And as you can see here, we got 29s, 28s, and 27s where the storm is eventually going to track over. So, it's got light shear environment. It's got the hot waters. I mean, there's no reason in my mind that this couldn't at least get a name out of it, or getting gale force winds somewhere in the vicinity of Vietnam, because it's gonna, like I said, low shear environment and hot sea surface temperatures. Speaking of the models, now we're going to take a look at the GFS here, and this was initialized at 18Z here, and as you can see, it's valid for 0Z, which is pretty much right now. As you see, 1007, 1004, and then here at the 24-hour mark, we have 999 millibar landfall, which, if you look at it this way, 999 millibars is definitely good enough to get a name, but that's only if the Joint Typhoon Warning Center deems it necessary to give it a name with that kind of millibar pressure, or if it makes it to that millibar pressure, at all. And as you can see here, it kind of just meanders, the rainfall of it just meanders around for the next, 120 hours or so as we go out through time. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 200 to 850 millibar wind shear values here. And as you can see, there's some pretty decent low wind shear here near the system, but there is some pockets of higher wind shear to the northeast of the system. And as you can see, obviously it clears a path of wind shear here. That's why it's been able to get down to 999 millibars, which is a pretty decent tropical storm, mid-grade tropical storm, if things turn out that way, which obviously that can change at any given moment. But right now the GFS has this as a decent tropical storm. And now we're going to take a look at the total accumulations here as we head out through the next 5 days. And as you can see here, that's when these colors really start to pop up here. We are talking about anywhere from 300 to 550 millimeters of rain, and we're gonna see how much that actually is here. 350 to 500 millimeter, 550 millimeters to inches, and yeah, that's about 550 is about 21 inches of rain here in parts of Vietnam. So we're looking at anywhere from 15 to 21 inches of rain here, because this is going to be a slow mover, as you saw from the actual GFS run, that the rains from the system actually meanders around and doesn't really move that far to help these guys out and not cause any significant flooding. But I think whether if it gets a name or not, it's gonna provide some flooding rains to Vietnam as we head out through the next 5 days. All right, so now we're gonna take a look at the HWRF, which is initialized at 18Z, and this is from 21Z, which was about a couple of hours ago, 1006. 24 hours, 999 millibars. So as you can see, the HWRF wants to strengthen this system pretty nicely as we head out through time. But the shear is so. It's not ideal, but it's not horrible. But as you see, the relative humidity is really good too. So as we get closer to landfall here in about 30 hours, we got 995 millibars, which is a strong tropical storm here. And we'll take a look here at the 10-meter winds just to see the point here. That's 56.7 knots, which is about 65 miles per hour or so. So this is a strong tropical storm that HWRF wants running into Vietnam. We're just gonna have to see, how that all pans out as we head out through time, and let's see if. No, I don't think we have that. We're gonna take a look at the humidity here, and there's nothing but humidity here. There's no dry air whatsoever in the vicinity of the system. So, like I said, dry air is definitely not going to be a problem for the system, at least on the HWRF. You know what? I'm gonna go back here. I want to check out some humidity values here. And as you can see, the GFS is the same way here. Nothing but relative humidity galore here as we head out through its lifetime. And that's why, okay, so you got the low shear environment, you got the hot waters, and you got some great relative humidity. So, I'm forecasting this to develop, but how weak or strong it's going to be, that's up in the air. I'm going personally with 50 miles per hour. That's my forecast, and that's what I think is going to hit Vietnam as a 50 mile per hour tropical storm. So we're just going to have to see how my forecast pans out with this system. All right, so now we're going to take a look at a different set of sea surface temperatures here. This is the sea surface temperatures here. And as you can see, we got 30s, 29s. It's got a very massive heat pool here that this storm can, rummage through to strengthen and possibly, hold a low-level center as we get closer to Vietnam. But, the main takeaways here from this is that, like I said, whether it gets named or not, it's definitely going to be a flooding concern for Vietnam. So just plan on being indoors for a couple of days, really, as this, runs this course. We don't want anybody driving on these flooded roadways, because that's a good way to, drown or get injured or worse. As they say, turn around, don't drown. That's the best philosophy. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm going to have another update on 93W tomorrow. And, however many days this might stick around for. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a nice day.